Hey everybody, Jason Bermas here. And last night, 60 Minutes put out this fluff piece on Reality Winner. And I'm going to tell you why. Numero uno is to continue with this farcical Russia nonsense. Period. Okay? And that needs to be taken into account right away. Second of all right, they want to repaint her as a hero to continue to do what? Demonize Donald Trump as a Russian asset and a threat to this country. And that's all this was, guys. Sorry about that. We got a new set, as you can see. And again, I'm going to hit that right there. Do some of that. I hope you guys are digging it. We're trying to put a little bit more into the show, of course. So, what I wanted to do here is show everybody, this initial story that kind of started it all with the intercept. And remember, Glenn Greenwald, a lot of people want to criticize. And look, there are some things that he should be criticized for. I think my man James Corbett has done excellent work, especially on the Snowden leaks. All right? 100%. Okay? But when you actually look at what Greenwald's done, it takes balls to all of a sudden do the interview about Alex Jones and Alex's war. And right now, that Sandy Hook trial, look, I don't like Steve Bannon. I think that Bannon has done a lot to talk about the Chinese model of enslavement, the Henry Kissinger policies that kind of led us here, right? And the empowerment of them. I think he's far from perfect, but he might get 2 years. 2 years for not sitting there in a show trial. And we've got a YouTube remix on this January 6th committee. That's the reality. Okay? And here's the deal. You look at this and the whole operation. Now, I'm not saying that Reality Winner is, some super secret spy, but you watch this. And one of the really great things about Max Blumenthal is he's a smart guy, and he pointed this out. He didn't know this. And this is how they are starting to repaint her, by the way. I want to say that. Never knew Reality Winner was commended by the Air Force for her role in the killing of 600 Pashto, Dari, and Farsi-speaking quote-unquote enemies. Interesting that Russiagate and not the remote killing of masses of strangers prompted her to become a whistleblower. And in this piece, they kind of openly admit, she worked for the NSA. The lawyer's there the entire time. She's only allowed to talk about certain things, and now she's asked for a pardon from Zombie J, Joe Biden. Now, I don't even think the Biden administration would dare to pardon this person, but anything is possible because, again, they want to make Trump into the enemy. And I don't love Trump. This isn't I wish the further they can get you into this left-right paradigm, right, and not make you question why it is that somebody, and this person might have just been driven into it with the constant, there could have been someone in her ear where she was working, because supposedly it was a civilian position within the NSA, and it sounded a lot to me like signature reduction, which has been going on for a decade, may have been part of this. And basically, if you look at these documents, right, first of all, none of them prove anybody was compromised. That's numero uno. It doesn't prove anybody was compromised. It talks about phishing scams that they say targeted people who basically oversaw voter registrations, like 122 individuals. And I had to get the archive on this. Why? Well, the story went big again. It was available before. And then this is just a top secret document. They gave her 5 years. This is low-level Johnny nonsense. You read through this, okay? And it's basic stuff. Guess what? Espionage exists. But you want to get to the high-level espionage. Why aren't we looking at things like Pegasus, right? The Israeli software. Why aren't we talking about the precursors to that, right? I mean, seriously, with Promise and Carnivore and the compromises we made there. Huh? Why aren't we talking about a real alliance outside of our supposed nation state and what? 3-branch of government system, an extension of the executive within the executive, which has transmorphed into, this transnational ring of authoritarian-minded minions of a predator class. Period. That's it. So when this document, which has absolutely no substantiation that made any type of difference, it was just, see the GRU here? Okay. Here's the real diversion. These headlines and these storylines keep people in this idea that what was giving to Julian Assange, and by the way, 60 Minutes isn't doing pieces supporting Julian Assange. Not happening. Not happening, Captain. You know what I'm saying? All right? They do this while denying the reality of Seth Rich, denying the reality of the undercover Seymour Hersh tapes where he names people like John Brennan as part of the operation. I mean, wow. Seymour Hersh, the Pulitzer Prize, winning one of the last investigative journalists that got some mainstream coverage. He's very ostracized after he reported on not only the C-130 that WikiLeaks and Assange had put out there, right? But then also about Abu Ghraib, other black sites, the rape of children in front of their parents. Wow. Remember that? A lot of people don't. Also, the guy who brought you, hey, wait a minute, this whole Navy SEAL Bin Laden story is not adding up story. Remember that? Said he'd done the story on Seth Rich and no one would publish it. He also said he wanted to keep his distance from Julian Assange because he had bad feelings, and he's like, this guy's nuts. He was using some colorful language that only a journalist like him would. Let's not forget that Seymour Hersh also outed Robert Maxwell, okay, the owner of the Mirror and other UK publications, a media mogul, also a multiple spy, an Israeli spy really at heart. I mean, they gave him a send-off. They really did. Anybody can look into it. Now there's these new specials talking about how he was out for himself, and now all of a sudden he was working for Russia too. But I'll just point out that he's also involved in what? Selling spy software. The Promise scandal. Get with it. These are all scandals that 60 Minutes isn't talking about. But they're sure pushing this Russia thing. Remember, at first, and look at this chart, right? These, first of all, every single first world country are running these type of ops against other nations. Forget about just us. I'm going to play a clip of James Woolsey, former head of the CIA and professional liar, coming clean, of course, that we are involved in all sorts of elections, but it's for the good of the system. James Woolsey, who also appears in that lovely Earth 2100 climate change propaganda cartoon piece with the like of Van Jones and John Podesta and Anthony Fauci and Eric Schmidt. Same old gang. So let's do that right now. Let's play, and Laura Ingraham, I hope you've wised up since this interview, man. You see people like Woolsey. You see Pompeo, we lied, we cheated, we stealed. Maybe I need to bring the Pompeo clip into this too. That might be an actual thing right now because, people need to understand these people are ruthless. They're just like this other woman. It's ridiculous that they let that piece end with her mother talking about how she's a hero. Now, first of all, I think that if we have information that is real and not, subjugated to edits, et cetera, and can be released in mass, let's go. Let's go. I'm all for that. I'm all for that. But if you don't think that somebody was literally in her ear about this, bare minimum, pushing it, and that she was probably suffering from a little bit of the TDS, okay, they thought they were saving the country. And then this cable just magically goes over. Come on. But here's Woolsey. I want everybody to hear this, and then we'll throw Pompeo in the mix as well.
Have we ever tried to meddle in other countries' elections?
Oh, probably, but it was for the good of the system in order to avoid the communists from taking over. For example, in Europe, in 47, 48, 49, the Greeks and the Italians, we
don't do that now, though. We don't mess around other people's elections, Jim.
It's hilarious. It's a joke. It's a big old joke to these people. Okay, and now, again, the executive within the executive is already here, folks. It's already here. Inside the military's secret undercover army. And when you're just like a subcontractor for the NSA and part of these programs, maybe you're a provocateur of some sort at a January 6th event. That's what this is. Zero accountability. None. It's beyond the Central Intelligence Agency. This is the stuff that matters. And then they laugh at us. It's hardy har har har, right? It's hardy har har har, everybody. That's the real deal. It's the hardy har 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 gang. When they just come out and tell you they're demons, that we do all this stuff. It's for thee. Sure, not for me. Well, let's bring it back, because Laura, not cool. Not cool, Laura. You wonder why we're in the situation we're in. We reap what we sow, guys. You sow the seeds of liberty and justice and accountability and bringing down tyrants and stopping monopolies instead of what? Slithering into the system post-World War II through compartmentalization, setting up your Trojan horse civilian systems in a techno-fascist model the Nazis would be super envious of. And they, in large part helped in that post-World War II world. So again, here he is. Do we still do it, James?
In 47, 48, 49, the Greeks and the Italians, we
don't do that
CIA.
now, though. We don't mess around other people's elections, Jim.
Only for a very good cause.
Can you do that? Do a Vine video on a former CIA director.
Only for a very good cause in the interests of democracy.
All right, thanks for being here.
Always
great to see.
We interfere with other people's democracy in the interest of democracy. We now fence off the White House and the Capitol in the interests of democracy. It's ridiculous. And like Pompeo, again, he's on tour right now with the MAGA movement. You don't think this guy's a betrayer of the country? He's the former head of the CIA, and he, as the Secretary of State, helped bring you Operation Warp Speed. Come on now. And this, again, talk about another allegiance to our ally, Israel. I mean, you watch this guy. It was like the biggest love fest between him and Netanyahu. Another completely corrupt individual. Completely corrupt. Right? It's like, I love this country. I'm not a Pompeo fan. And he opened, again, it's hilarious to everybody. Play it, Pompeo.
I was the CIA director. We lied, we cheated, we stole. It was like we had entire training courses. It reminds you of the glory of the American experiment.
The glory of the American experiment. Now, this is something that I hadn't planned to cover, but because Reality Winner was controlling drones, and she was commended for it, that, take the lives of a multitude of people that are generally innocent of whatever crimes they're saying they committed. Because of that, I thought that it would be good to let everybody know. Again, if you haven't given Annie Jacobson a follow, I don't know what you're waiting for. Okay? But look at that. The Erie aircraft is equipped with new AI from Lockheed Martin. So publicly now, DARPA is flying Black Hawk helicopters. No pilot. Forget about the drones they've set up. The equipment we like to use, no pilot necessary. See that? Let's make it big. Hopefully you can see DARPA right here. Right there. DARPA right on the top. Yeah! They did it. They say it can easily fit it into existing aircraft. See how all this stuff integrates? Automation Nation, the road to transhumanism. It's a reality, folks. They just redefined what a recession is. Go follow me on Twitter. You're going to see a lot of it. Here's the deal. We're by the skin of our nuts all the time here on YouTube. That's why we're rumbling. We're on Podbean. Also, Rockfin, $9.99 a month or $99.99 for the year. We could really use it. And buy me a coffee. We've got the links above right here. Look at that. Buymeacoffee.com/Jason Bermas, $5, $10, $15. It means the world to me. I will be back in just a short little while, a little bit over an hour, with John Fitch for Mixed Martial Mindset. Let me know what you guys think of the new setup, the new look. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you not love it at all? What should I improve? Is it pretty clean? I don't know. You let me know. So once again, guys, thank you so much. It's not about left or right. It's always about right and wrong. And I will see you all on the flip side.